As I said in the last video, you can think of a repository as kind of like a folder where you store all of the code and files for your project. Only in a repository, each time you save a project, a record is kept of all those changes, additions, deletions, and updates, and the record of these changes are called commits. Each one of your projects should be in a separate repository. In other words, you won't put all of your tech degree projects into one repo. In this video, I'll go over how to create a brand new repository as if we're just about to start a new coding project and don't yet have any files for it. I would encourage you to get into the habit of creating a new GitHub repository as the first step to starting a new project, and also get into the habit of committing often, every time you make a major change. You can make an existing project into a repo and put it on GitHub, which I'll show you how to do in the following videos. But if you create the repo first, you'll have a record of your progress, and you'll be able to go back to previous commits if you need to. To create your very first repository, you're going to click on Create New Repository on this landing screen. After the first time, though, you won't see this landing page again. To create a new repository at that point, you'll go to File, New Repository, or use Command-N on a Mac or Control-N on Windows. The Add a New Repository window will pop up. Give your repository a name. I'll name mine Tech Degree Project 3. Now add a description, which you can always change later. For now, I'll just write my third tech degree project. Choose the parent or outermost folder you want the new repository to go into. GitHub Desktop will automatically create a new folder for this repository within this parent folder with the name that you give it here. So I'll choose this parent code folder. Choose Initialize this repository with README. A README is a common file to have in your project. It often contains information about your project like a description, documentation, installation instructions, stuff like that. For now, we don't have to worry about the contents of the README file. Just know that it's a good idea for every project to have one. There are two other options, gitignore and license. A gitignore file indicates the files and folders you don't want to move up to GitHub. These are often system files or libraries that you use in your project, but which you don't create yourself. By not uploading them to GitHub, you save time, uploading, and space on GitHub. There are a lot of options to choose from, but here's some advice. If you're working with JavaScript, either front-end or back-end, you can choose Node. There's also an option for Python, if that's your language. And you can use Swift if you're working on iOS projects. The rest of these options are for really specific types of projects, so you can ignore them for now. The license option indicates the type of usage you're providing to your project. You can leave this blank for now, but if you're interested in learning more about what the different license types are and how they're used, I've added a link in the teacher's notes. Click the Create Repository button to create a new folder and a repository. We now have the option on the right here to open this repository in Finder on a Mac or Explorer in Windows. Click Open this repository and you can see that in the My Code parent folder, I now have a folder named Tech Degree Project 3, and inside is the README file. Remember that this repository is just a folder on your computer. You can interact with the folder and add and delete things from it just like you would any other folder on your computer. To put the new repository on GitHub, go back to GitHub Desktop and click Publish Repository. Another window will pop up with the repo's name and description. Uncheck Keep this code private. Private repositories are a paid service that GitHub offers, and your tech degree project repos will need to be public to be graded. Click Publish Repository. Now we can go to github.com, choose the avatar, your profile, click on the Repositories tab, and you can see the repository you've just created and added.